Yo, you listen to More About Something Else. Thank you for listening. Once again, more about sports. Dropping this week. A lot of NBA stuff. But on this episode, I do talk about entrepreneurship, social media, Scorpion, of course, and white people calling the cops on black people for no reason. But here's a clip from the show. I started this show because I wanted to put my views out there to the world and try to help the world at the same time. And I slowly saw that turning. I don't like talking about pop culture like that, but I do sometimes because I feel like it's important. Because there's always a lesson in certain things. But it takes time to understand that you don't want to be like the next person. Upon coming back on social media, I've realized that it's very, very detrimental. And it bothers me because it's the next best thing. So how can you remove yourself from the world like that? And now that you've heard that, let's begin.
First off, I'm going to have to ask you to go and rate this show. Maybe even leave a comment. And you could do that on iTunes or SoundCloud. And for Android users, you can now listen via Google Play. Now, this podcast may contain explicit content, just saying. So open your mind, relax, and listen to this dope-ass podcast.
Food for thought, coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Hey, food for thought, coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest.
If people don't understand that, well, they don't understand nothing.
Truth spilling, leaving victims to my honest ways. I come in peaks like an alien from outer space. Internet pirates riding waves on your webpage. Download the shit, click the link, press play. I don't mean to pray, but I pray every week for myself, for my fam, cause we all gotta eat. Protein, no more sweets. Till I'm caked up on the beach in Belize. Food for thought, coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Wait, food for thought coming fresh, I'm the chef. I got greens for your brain, have a taste, it's the best. Food for thought from the flesh, tag along on the quest to find more about something else. Wait.
Yo, you listen to More About Something Else. My name is Joshua. And, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been rocking with this show since day one. I truly appreciate it. Yo, if you listen to this episode for the first time, or this podcast for the first time, and you like it, go ahead and subscribe to it, rate it, review it, like it, share it, please. You can do all of them, or you can do one of them. Either way, I truly appreciate it. But yeah, we're here in July, and I always like to talk about time because time is really important. But I want to start off with this. Your obsession with distraction is prolonging your progress. Very important that you understand that. And I feel like it's important because here we are in the 7th month and you just have to try and take inventory of what has happened from January to July. Have I caught up with my quote unquote New Year's resolution? Have I done good things and just been a role model and, setting the standard or whatever? Are you living a good life? Because, we like to say that we're living our best life, right? But, it only sounds good. Like living your best life doesn't mean taking pictures and posting on Instagram of you at some pool or whatever. Because it seems to be that's what is the norm. Like bare minimum, Twitter just loves to go off about living their best life. But here we are in July, and I feel like when you have a platform, it's your obligation to try and make people do better. And I've come to terms that not everybody wants to do better, and that's fine. But if you listen to this, just know that you're responsible for your own life, right? Thus saying that, it's very important to realize that the journey to being great, or the journey to even accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in your life, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Like, I used to think that I could do it by myself, you know. I used to just wonder, like, why is it so hard? But then I remember Jesus Christ had 12 disciples. Well, that's what the Bible said. You know, he had 12 disciples. And I feel like it's really important to realize that a support system really matters. And whether you do have one or whether you don't, which is important. And if you don't, like, you can only get so far by yourself, is what I've realized. And by saying that, like, try to connect with somebody, because I feel like it's important. Because I know there's people out there that want to actually do something, whether it's something small or something big. You need support. Like, I've been thinking for a while, right? It's very important to realize that you're here for a reason, you know? And realize that your parents, they played a major part in you coming along. Like, it's really important to realize that your parents, not even your parents, one of your parents could have made the wrong decision, took the wrong turn in life somehow, some way, and you wouldn't be here. So appreciate the fact that you're here, because it's really important to realize that decision making is important. That journey to success, you have to make the right decision. So what is it that you want to do to make those type of decisions in life? You know, you have to listen to yourself, trust your instinct, and be the person that you say you want to be. Like, it's really important to understand that if you believe in something, you have to stick by it. Like, people love to try and tell other people how to live their life. Me included, you know, I can be guilty for that. But you want to be the example. You want to be the living testament. So what's stopping you? If you can't find support, you can always look outside. You can read books. You can find a way, because you just have to figure it out at the end of the day. As vague as it is to say that, you have to find a way, because not everybody has the answer for you. You have to find the answer for you. I feel like it's really important to understand that if you figure it out, then you're good. And this is my thing, like, a lot of people like to tell you that, you know, life is easy if you do it this way. No. Everybody's going to have their obstacles, you know, but it's a matter of how you face those obstacles. Like, money shouldn't be, well, money is a motive. Don't get me wrong. Money is definitely the motive. Like, I don't want to be broke no more. But seek a higher purpose, because the money will come. I always say that because it will. You just literally got to figure it out. But yeah, man, we're here. I feel like I have to address something, and you know, it's something good. And you know, if you've listened to this podcast throughout, you would understand that I'm a Drake stan. I ride by Drake, you know. I don't appreciate the slander. I do have a rebuttal for anything anybody has to say, because there's a lot of people that like to be subjective and not objective of his music or his life or whatever goes on. You hear a little drama and you run with it. You hear things from people, you run with it. Don't appreciate that. So Scorpion dropped out. Like, it dropped. I was driving, and I truly appreciate that there's 25 songs, finally. And people are getting mad, but I'm just like, do you not realize that he dropped 20 songs on More Life and 22 songs on Views? 25 songs is not going to hurt you. And you know, Drake was a little sassy with it. You know, he took all the arguments that people talked about and they were mad that Drake was addressing certain things. Like, a lot of people said that, I hate when Drake raps. I hate when Drake sings. And I think this is what happens when you're great. They can never let LeBron be who he is because he's not better than Michael, right? Or he's not better than Kobe, right? Tom Brady is never going to be the greatest quarterback or the greatest athlete in his sport. Why? I don't know. Why do people hate greatness? It's a good question. But like I said, people love to be subjective and not objective of the situation. You have to be able to remove your emotion from it. And I know somebody could say, well, Josh, you really like Drake and you're a stan. Yes, I do, but I'm objective about a lot of things when it comes to his music. I genuinely just like the music. I like the person because I grew up watching Degrassi. I knew who he was. And, I tried to listen to it at first and, I wasn't feeling it, but I came back to it. So Scorpion dropped, right? Like I said, 25 songs, a side A and a side B. One part rap, one part R&B. Of course, you got to skip the God's Plan, I'm Upset, and Nice for What. You just got to skip them. I'm playing that on the radio. Overall, it was a good album. I really liked it. And last episode I talked about conceptually breaking down music and how you do it. I feel like it's impossible to break down music in one listen. I don't even think people broke it down or finished the album. People just wanted to say it was trash, that they're not feeling it. You can't listen to one thing and just be like, oh, no, I don't know. I don't even think about music when I talk about breaking stuff down like once. Like, literally, when I watch movies over, I'm just like, damn, like, I didn't catch that. And that's how you gotta think about it. Like, you're gonna catch different things every time you watch something new. Like, I've watched Fast and the Furious, Fast 5, plenty of times. I know every single word, and I've noticed different things throughout. I've noticed the mistakes, and I don't know, like, it's just stuff like that. Like, you start to realize things, but you can't be a hater all your life. That's what I'm getting at. Like, niggas just love to hate for no reason. If I could ask anybody why they hated Drake, please let me know so we can have a discussion about it, because I just don't believe that you really hate him for who he is. But Scorpion was good. One song in particular that stood out to me was Emotionless. Love the song. Love it, love it, love it. He addresses a lot of things, especially social media. And not even social media, just the whole thing about his kid. He addresses his kid. He even makes a song to his kid that, is directed to his kid in particularly. And like, you can tell that there's some type of emotion, not on Emotionless, but just on the album and the songs that he was addressing to his kid, because I feel like that's cool. And that's where, like, I think about legacy. It's important to leave a great legacy. Like, most of you won't address the conflict that is going on in your life. And we see these musicians that are open about talking about depression and what's going on in the past, and you can see growth in Drake. And that's what I appreciate. But overall, please listen to that album more than once, more than twice. If you truly say that you like music, like, it can't just be all about the beat. Like, you can't be that dumb that you can't break down music for you people that say music saved your life. If you don't like Drake and you're not rocking with it, cool. Like, I understand if you have taken the time to actually break it down and understand what is going on. there's one thing for sure that you just can't go against Drake stands. You just can't. Like, if you feel like you want to go against the grain because that's who you are as a person, you just better have a really good reason. But it's a good song. I mean, Emotionless is a good song. Please just check out the album and just appreciate it, please. Like, we don't need no more Drake slander, but here we are. Things that bother me this week. It's only one thing, and it's been a repeating thing for a while, actually. And it's not very often that we see these things on social media, but it's starting to get out of hand, and that's white people calling the cops on people, well, let's just say people of color, but mainly black people, because of suspicion, or you just feel like you need to uphold the law. Like, nobody told you to uphold the law. That's not your job. But we see stuff like Permit Patty, where the white lady called the police on a little kid because the little kid wanted to save up her money for Disney World. And, she called the cops, asked the little kid, where's her permit? Like, you just don't do that. And the good side of social media is when things go viral, for the person that is in the wrong, things go bad for your life. Permit Patty has stepped down from her business as CEO. They have pulled her product from whatever she was into. She was into the cannabis business, and they pulled her product from wherever she was doing business. And we just say, look at God, right? There's another one. White person calls the police on a firefighter who was doing inspections in the houses, or not in the houses, but around the houses, state of California. The firefighters are permitted to enter your premises. Well, not enter premises, but look into the premises to do inspections, because California is always on fire. And they're allowed to do that. And the person that called the police only called them because they said the firefighter looked suspicious. Of course, yes, because your skin, yes, you look suspicious. But it's not the skin that they said looked suspicious. It was because the firefighter had tennis shoes on. So you're going to disregard all the gear that I got on. All you see is my tennis shoes. Fuck you. It rubbed me the wrong way because this goes on and on and on, and abusing tax dollars because you're suspicious. Like, mind your own business. You know what happens when you mind your own business? A lot. Your life continues to go on in peace. And I feel like we need to start calling out these people. Thank God for camera phones, because it's really important to know that it's not okay. And I feel like, let this be a lesson. Permit Patty, the white woman in Oakland at the barbecue that started crying when the police came and she said that she was being harassed. We thank God for that. We thank God for the white woman that used her white privilege to attack racism. But it's getting out of hand, and I feel like there should be some type of repercussion for abusing tax dollars because of your quote-unquote suspicion. Mind your business. Those are the things that bother me. Remember, I talked about more about sports podcasts. It's dropping this week. Please check it out. Talk about the contracts that were issued in free agency. It's really important that you understand every little thing about every little team, because this new season is going to be very interesting. But once again, it's dropping out this week. So if you're interested, go ahead and tune in. Yo, so I'm all about physical fitness and everything of that nature. Eat, sleep, gym, pretty much. But I decided, hey, why don't we just throw out a challenge? Because I know people really just want to be out there and get physically fit. So I decided to create this workout program. It's free. You can get it on moreaboutsomethingelse.com. It's called Feel the Burn Core Challenge. And really, it's a 21-day thing. All you have to do is follow the directions to download, and that's it. But once again, moreaboutsomethingelse.com. You click more about fitness, then you click the download. It's right there. Once again, it's free. Feel the Burn Core Challenge. Now back to the show. So I've been doing my research, right? And you know that I do my research all the time about certain things, like just random things. A lot of people can say, why are you even thinking about stuff like that? And my response, I don't know. I just find interest in understanding what's going on outside of, social media and what's what or what's going on. So I've been doing research, and I'm actually reading this book. It's called A People's History of the United States. And I find it really fascinating. It's a really big book. It's 700 pages. Actually, I think it's like 1,000. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm only on chapter 1. But so much was put into chapter 1 that is exhausting. Like, I feel like I had to take a break because I'm just like, damn, like this is making me really upset. So beyond doing that, I've been doing my research on what's actually going on outside of the United States. And it's crazy because I feel so bad for what's going on and just the history behind certain things. Like, we think that, we're here and we're safe, but what about everybody else? And, I want to say that you can do it if you truly believe you can do it. But that's because we're privileged to say stuff like that. Like, there's people that will never get to understand that concept. And that bothers me. You see, we're so wrapped up in social media and everything that's in it that we just don't understand what's going on in the world. And not just in the world, but like what's going on in our own country. It bothers me so much because I wish I could do something about it. Like, I feel really, really guilty right now. Like, taking the time out of your day to understand what's going on. Not even, like, we all say that we want to make a change, but you need to understand what is going on before you try to make a change. Like, I really understand why people go out of the United States to start charities and start giving back and whatnot. Before I didn't, because before I was on, look, why don't we all eat together and then we can go help everybody together? But I truly understand that not everybody will get the opportunity. I truly understand that not everybody wants to help. I truly understand that tomorrow's never promised, so why wait? We're so removed from the world, and that is a problem. Everything that happens has to go on social media. Everything that happens, whether it's tragic, like somebody dying and everybody has to record it, to everybody got to snap a picture. Like, we're not enjoying the moments anymore. We're just snapping what's going on. Like, I look at my Facebook and I'm just like, Mark Zuckerberg been talking about how he wants to bring people together and whatever. It's beyond that now. When you're trying to keep people on the app and not just use it to connect, there's an issue. I've realized when it comes to social media that not even social media, just in general, like for people that are vlogging or blogging or podcasting or even making music, it's all the same. I stopped listening to I stopped listening to a lot of podcasts, like, because that's my That's my thing. I like it. I've been listening to podcasts for a long time before the podcast app came on the phone. And I've realized that people try to start something, they talk about the same thing. Literally, every podcast you go down, it's like, oh, we're discussing things of the culture. And this is no offense to anybody. I mean, this is just the lane that I've chose, and this is how I feel about it. But, not everybody can talk about the culture. Vlogging, yes, we want to see what's going on in your life, but what difference is it from the other person that I subscribe to? And what I'm getting at is that everybody does the same thing. We were talking about unpopular opinions on Twitter, and it wasn't that they were unpopular opinions because everybody really agreed with certain things. And that's all social media really is how much can you relate to the next person? Like, it's really a shame that there's no originality when it comes down to those things, because I really push for people to stand out and to be different, but yet we all do the same things. And I can talk and talk and talk about this like I'm not doing the same thing, but I try to move away from that because I realized that a while back. Like, I could have took this show in a direction that I didn't feel comfortable doing it. And that's just not what it's about. If you want to do something, you have to learn to be yourself. And that's the thing, because when we see somebody that is themselves, then, we love you a lot more. Like, there's a reason why people love Tiffany Haddish and Cardi B. It's because they're themselves. And I feel like it's important to realize who you are as a person. Because once you understand that, then here you are. If you want to start something, I totally believe in anybody that wants to start something like vlogging or blogging or podcasting or music or whatever. Just try not to sound like the next person, I started this show because I wanted to put my views out there to the world and try to help the world at the same time. And I slowly saw that turning. I don't like talking about pop culture like that, but I do sometimes because I feel like it's important. Because there's always a lesson in certain things. But it takes time to understand that you don't want to be like the next person. Upon coming back on social media, I've realized that it's very, very detrimental. And it bothers me because it's the next best thing. So how can you remove yourself from the world like that? Because really, you really have to learn how to remove yourself. The first thing you do is check your phone because you got notifications from social media. Not even just social media, just the phone in general. The one thing that I did was I started talking to people when I needed to talk to people and realizing that my time is worth more than what is going on. Not gonna lie, I have my lazy days. I have my days when I'm on the bed and I'm just chilling on social media, but I'm aware. It bothers me that I'm aware that I'm wasting time on social media. It bothers me that I can be doing something better with my time. Like, motherfuckers want to be great, but they don't want to. It sounds good, but you really don't want it. The most successful people are actually doing things to be successful. So what are you doing? It's okay to watch vlogs and read blogs and listen to podcasts and listen to music. But there's a time and a place for everything. As you listen to this, I want you to really, really, really focus on what you want. I want you to focus on the real world. Because a lot is going on out there and we just don't know. We've been talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. He figured out the code. He figured out how to get everybody's attention. The media has found out how to get everybody's attention, and we've fallen prey to their agenda. Outrage is what's hot right now. I was talking about last episode about the separation from the families. It's been going on for a long time. It's very easy to blame Trump and whatever because he tweets stuff and he's not stupid. He's not. He knows exactly what he's doing. But yet, we fall for it. Why? We have to do better when it comes to social media. Learn to live your life for you and not because it's the next best thing. Literally, people take pictures of being in the city. Like, people take pictures of going to Miami or going to LA or New York. Like, I've been to a lot of places and they're not what it seems to be. But people hype it up so much that you end up spending money to go places that you really don't like, if that makes sense. For me, if I can be in Denver or Vancouver, I would definitely be there. I know it sounds like the weirdest places to be. I wouldn't mind being there. Look, I like hiking. I know that's not a popular thing, but I just like doing that. You don't have to like what the next person likes. It's okay. You don't have to catch a photo op every time you go somewhere. Just live your life. I can be guilty and I can say stuff about, just taking pictures when I'm somewhere. It's okay to take a picture here and there, but when you do it every single time, it's like people don't even appreciate their food anymore. You have to snap a picture of, going to Steak 48. And the caption is like, "We eating good over here." Like, it's okay every now and then, but, to do it all the time, you just have to realize, is this what I'm doing with my time? Like, am I going to actually enjoy the food? But like I said, look, realize what's going on in the world. Try to separate yourself from everybody and, just try to be a better person because that's where we're at right now. We need to be better people and understand that we literally have control over our lives. And stop thanking God on social media. That is probably one of the most annoying things that people can do because I'm just like, you can literally say that prayer to yourself and God will appreciate it. Like, I don't understand. Does God read your tweets? He may read your tweets. I don't know. But I don't know. You do things for attention or, it's easy to say, oh, what if these people are for real? But I'm just like, you weren't doing this before, were you? When it was easier to just pray to yourself and pray to God rather than pray to Twitter because that's what it seems like is going on. I may be subjective on that type of thinking, but I'm just saying it just doesn't make any sense. But, I'm going to leave the whole topic alone because I've said what I had to say.
Say, man, if you really like the show, and I assume that you like it because you're still listening to the show, but if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, please, 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 write us a review. It helps people find the show, for one, and it also gives people an idea of what's going on in the show without actually listening. So, it attracts other people, and I'm just asking, if you don't want to, it's cool. If you do, God bless you. Now back to the show.
When you think about life, what do you think of? It's funny because we just go on like it's nothing. Like, we're so removed from what's going on that we tend to forget that we're here to serve a purpose. through my trials and tribulations and just wondering what I'm here for and what my purpose is. Because I always believe that you should seek your purpose because that's how you can be able to live your life. It's very important to understand who you are. But the question is, how does one understand who they are? Like, where do you go? The mass majority will seek religion because it's what we've been taught. It's what people talk about as far as like how they discovered who they were. And, I've tried to prescribe to religion and everything of that whole nature, but I'm African. We believe in Christianity, and you just tend to wonder what is right and what is culture. And you can say this in anywhere, really, in any ethnicity, any race, that culture seems to take more of what it means to actually understand what religion is. And that's wrong, Like, religion is one thing because it's a whole thing that you just have to understand that religion is a way of life. And if that's what you want to prescribe to, then you have free will. You can. But when culture interferes with the way of life, then I don't know. It just feels like a conflict of interest to me. And these are all my own beliefs. Sometimes it's kind of hard to believe in what religion is. And I feel like that because people make it seem like everything you do is wrong, but we know the way. You have to follow this way. And don't get me wrong, I don't speak down on any religion. You just have to understand that your way can't be the right way and somebody else's way can't be the right way. Like, there has to be one way. So why do we listen to people that think they know the way? My issue here is that everybody is not going to get to that way or to the end the same way. We're all going to go in our different paths. The one thing I realize about religion and all the different ones is that they all talk about love. The universal language is love. So why don't we teach the young ones about love rather than telling people that if you do this, you're going to hell? I'm Christian. It's what I know. It's what I believe. But in my life, I believe that you're supposed to question the beliefs that you were taught as a child. I believe that you're supposed to undo any type of teaching that you believe is wrong or that you don't agree with, because you can't carry on with a cycle when you're raising your kids and your kids challenge you, but you can't answer because you were programmed. And I don't mean it in the wrong way. I truly, truly believe that you're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. But do you know why you believe what you want to believe? It's very important that you understand that. Life goes on, and I just don't want you as the individual to fall victim to something you don't truly understand. Like, my mind has been going crazy because it's just like, I don't want to reject things that I was taught as a child, but this just doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't sit well in your gut, then you should definitely follow your gut. Like, we all go through trials and tribulations, and we all have that mountain to climb. And once we reach the top, you got to go back down. You can't stay on top of that mountain. Like, once you realize that life is a journey, that you're always going to run into some type of trouble, but believing that there's a way, life will go so smooth. I've always been a calm person. Been calm as far as like my troubles. The people who are around me, they understand that when I vent to you, it's because whatever it is, I probably can't handle it. But I never freak out. I may sound like I'm whining or complaining sometimes, but it's just the way I handle things. The thing is, it's always going to be a storm, but it's up to you and how you react. That's only going to benefit just you. And this is my thing. Cause and effect is real. The things that you do right now can be detrimental if you don't follow that right path for the future. Whether it's in your lifetime, in your kid's lifetime, or in their kid's lifetime. It's very important to think about legacy, because right now, in this social media era, in this era full of information, in this era where we can document our lives, it's very important not to mess up. Because you can accomplish all the accolades that you want to accomplish, but you can lose all those accolades too if you don't be careful. If you are who you are, if you are who you say you are, then everything I'm talking about doesn't really mean nothing to you. Seek purpose. We're out here, we talk about life, and we talk about helping people, and we talk about enjoying the fruits of our labor. But how could you enjoy the fruits of your labor if you're not where you're supposed to be? I don't know about you, but I really feel like it's very important to understand that you are here for a purpose. A purpose that goes unknown to many. Not a few, to many. That's a lot of people. Seek purpose. It's very important that you jump into whatever it is that you want to jump into. The last thing I want to do is to finally get it before I die. I want my kids' upbringing to be better than mine. I always like to look back on, when I even think about an example, I think about Will Smith, right? Yes, successful. They say that, Will Smith's wife says that Jaden and Willow, they're really special kids. Yeah, you're rich, of course. But it's very important to understand how they raise their kids. I always look at Will and I look at Jaden and I'm just like, he is raising his kid exactly how he wanted to raise his kid. Like, we look at Will and we say, oh, he's a great person, but he raised a great son. It's a difference, but it's very important. I feel like that's how you leave your legacy, is how you raise your kids. You know, I appreciate my parents because they've raised me well. I'm not the best person. I have my flaws. I've made my enemies. I've done some bad things that I'm not happy to talk about. But I know that I'm here to do something. It's very frustrating when you know something that you could have known a long time ago. You know, right now I look at these kids that are in high school and middle school, and I'm just like, you just don't understand. There's so much opportunity out here. Like, there's so much that one can do, but one does not want to do, which bothers me. It's almost like I wish that I could go back in time with all the knowledge that I know and make something of myself. And I believe I'm not the only one that thinks like that. But what's done is done. And that's why I say time is important. Because literally, when you understand that you have more power than you believe, then life is going to be so much easier for you. You will still run into obstacles, but you will know how to maneuver yourself. Seek purpose, because it means something. So I like to take a pause for the cause. Hey, if you like sports, and I know some of you like sports, or even if you're not really that into it, and you're, I don't want to say a woman, but like, if you want to learn about sports so that you can somehow have something to talk about with a guy, look, I started a new podcast. It's called More About Sports. And it's going to be under the branch of like more about something else. But we're here. It's official. It's about to open. And I just want you guys to enjoy it. So it's going to be strictly sports. It's going to be on all platforms. So go ahead and search it, subscribe to it, and enjoy. Now back to the show. I want to wrap up with this. I feel like it's important to understand entrepreneurs and appreciate their art and respect their mastery. Because we all do stuff to make a living. It just so happens that entrepreneurs make a living off of their art, whatever they're good at. We need to respect that because they have taken a conscious decision to work for themselves and not work for others, and to make a living off of whatever it is they're doing. Very important that you understand that. It's also important to understand, as an entrepreneur, you have to give out value. You know, we talk about supporting Black-owned businesses all the time, but it seems like the community doesn't back you up because they're always trying to catch a discount. It's funny because your own community can't ask for a discount when it comes to shopping at Walmart or Target or Macy's or any of these well-established businesses. You just don't. People love to represent for Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all those designer things, and it's crazy because these companies have never marketed on TV and anything of that nature. Like, they just don't. And you don't ask for a discount then. And that's the thing, like, marketing matters. If that company markets, it really matters, but they don't. They don't market to anybody. But yet, you're out there at the Gucci store buying a $300 Gucci belt, but you can't support people that are actually for the culture and actually know about the culture because it's too expensive. You know, you have to understand that people make a living off of this. Whatever it is. I'm not just talking about fashion design. I'm talking about photography, videography, being a baker or a caterer. Even when it comes to me, I personal train. I feel like you just have to understand that the asking price is what we're asking for. There's no discounts. You just have to realize what you're paying for. That's the thing. Understand what you're paying for. You can't get mad at somebody because they're charging a certain price. That is their art. That is their mastery. That's what they believe they deserve. If you don't want it, if you don't feel like you need to pay for it, then just move around. It's really important to understand that you need to respect these entrepreneurs and their craft and whatever they're doing. Because little behold, when they make it and when they decide to sell the company to some white person, you can't get mad about that. Little behold, when they become these people and they make it, they're going to remember everybody that asked them for a discount and didn't believe in them. But, I mean, that's all I gotta say about that. Please. We are doing this 30-minute challenge. Remember, I've been talking about this for 2 episodes now. 30 minutes to yourself. If you love yourself, if you respect yourself, you will take 30 minutes out of your day and leave it just for you. We're talking about self-care. I don't mean like bath bombs and all that nonsense. I'm talking about maybe meditation, going for a walk, exercise. If you want to do longer than 30 minutes, you can be my guest. But 30 minutes by yourself, whether it's before you go to work or before you start your day or at the end of your day, you deserve it. But I challenge you to do 30 minutes of whatever it is you want to do. But yeah, remember, More About Sports is dropping this week. Remember that Dominant Existence is coming out sooner than you think. Words of wisdom: happiness needs no validation. Sounds really good when you hear that, right? Do you understand what I mean when I say that? Once again, you are listening to More About Something Else. Go ahead and visit the website, moreaboutsomethingelse.com. But my name is Joshua, and I'm out.